In the previous capsule, I talked about what a neural charge session is. Again, it is not a session aimed at creating a training effect. It's really a way to recharge your neurological system. As such, it's a tool to be used by type 1A, type 1B mostly. The type 2A can also use it because they also have a pretty important neurological component. Type 2Bs and type 3 will get no benefit from it. Now, I use those sessions to create a neurological amping up. Now, we have several benefits that goes with that. First of all, the main benefit, of course, is that it amps up the nervous system. So when we're going to talk about the application, you're going to see how that can be used to peak for a competition. It basically increases the activation of the nervous system, produces some dopamine, so you get that dopamine rush that the type 1 needs, but not to a level that you eventually start to crash it down. You also don't have any adrenaline increase, so that dopamine is not shuttled to create that adrenaline. So it stays fairly elevated. So you get that rush, which is something that a type 1 needs. So you actually get a better effect from a neurological session as far as recovery is concerned as taking a day off if you're a type 1. A type 1 taking a day off might actually hurt the recovery. They will actually start to fidget, they want to do something. I mean, I'm sure that you know some guys, maybe you are one of them, that if you don't train, you start to feel like physically bad. Well, that's actually neurologically bad because you're not getting what you want. Now, those neural charge sessions, which are very short, will provide that dopamine boost and you will feel good. That's the number one benefit. Now, second benefit is that even though it is not aimed at creating a training effect, you still do have a training effect. If you are a type 1B and you use the explosive version, you are still doing some explosive exercises which will increase your power production. So even though the volume is low, it still does have an effect, especially if you do like 2 of them per week. It has a cumulative effect over the weeks that will increase your capacity to produce power in fast movements. And if you are type 1A, using those overcoming isometrics, even though they're non-tiring, you won't build much muscle from it, you are still learning to produce maximum force. Don't forget that during a maximum isometric contraction, you can produce up to 10% more force, or more importantly, you can recruit up to 10% more motor units, muscle fibers, than during a lifting exercise. And if you do that twice per week, you actually are programming your nervous system to use those extra motor units and recruit them early on when you're lifting. So even though you're not trying to get a training effect, in the long run, it will actually make you stronger. So that's another benefit. A third benefit is that it increases insulin sensitivity in the muscles. Remember what I said, muscle work makes the muscle more insulin sensitive. And if the muscles are more insulin sensitive, you will naturally send more of your ingested nutrients to the muscles instead of the fat cells, which is great for body composition. Now, any form of muscle work will increase potentially insulin sensitivity in the muscles. But one thing that hurts is inflammation. So if I'm doing like slow eccentric and heavy, like a lot of bodybuilding work or heavy lifting, I am getting that insulin sensitization effect, but the inflammation caused by the training kind of negates that. But if you look at the 2 types of exercises used for the neural charge session, either the very explosive or the overcoming isometrics, none of them create muscle damage that will lead to inflammation. As such, you are getting all the benefits of increasing insulin sensitivity in the muscles without creating the inflammation that might negate it. So it will be amazingly effective at improving how your body utilizes the nutrients to build muscle and recover instead of storing them as fat. So these are the 3 main benefits of using neural charge session in your program.